All right, so carrying on with this whole template idea, you can see I've taken my ideas that I've built in this session view here. I've got my chord progressions, couple top loops, and a kick. Really simple. Just to go over it again on here, all I've done is thrown a compressor on and then a saturator to bring the volume back up. That compressor is just basically side chaining off of the kick. Um, Not incredibly necessary at this point in time, but if I'm using this as a template that I'm going to use to recreate a bunch of songs with, these different chord progressions, that's something that I'm going to pretty much be building every time. So that's a great example of something that would go in this template project. Um, the other thing that I've gone ahead and done is built out these just 8-bar clips to divide it out into sessions. For a long time, for whatever reason, I was having a lot of trouble just like taking a loop with sounds that I designed and like a drum kit that I built, and really excited about everything, and then just like hit a wall when I try and actually make an arrangement. So what this does is just kind of like it's like Mad Libs, you just throw in, you're gonna have an intro, verse, build up to drop, break in the middle, verse two, and then repeat, have an outro. You can do whatever you want. That's the great part about music. But this is something that you'll pretty much follow. Something pretty close to this with any songs of this genre that you're going to be making. Um, and then as far as everything else you see here, these are like it's just you can see this is the same kick all the way across. I change up the top loops just ever so slightly, maybe just for the drops even. That's it. Again, these are just placeholders. I think I chose some random chord progressions. I don't know if these sound good in transition. Yeah, nothing special. Um, but let's skip forward ahead just a little bit. Um, so once you have a template like this, then you can go ahead and start building out some of your other ideas. Some of my main focuses for this track here so far have been changing the chord and the bass, so that they're not just the piano sound. The piano is great; it's fine, it's great to dance to. I love that clean sound, but it's also just not that, like the most popular sound, right? Um, but instead of trying to like build my own thing in Serum or finding a sample that I can throw into simpler, I just went pretty simple and just threw some audio effects onto this bass. And let me take a step back. If you remember, um, I built these chord progressions out with triad as well as 2 octaves down from the bass note. And so in the arrangement view, what I did is that's kind of what I want to play with, right? So if we're talking about energy, we want to control the energy in the beginning. We're going to have lower energy, and then towards the end of the song, or middle to end of the song, is going to be our highest energy, and then we die out from there. So you can see here, this is just one set of triads that I've got in the intro.
All I wanna.
I'm going to take out the vocal, so you can just kind of hear the simplicity. And then like in the next one, you can see it. There's like most of these have 4 notes, so increasing intensity just ever so slightly. Still no bass for the first verse. And then you can see, like in this one, this is the bass. So what I've just basically taken out that one click from the bottom. And how did I change this from a piano sound to this bass sound? Pretty honestly, like I'm able to make it pretty easy. So there's this amp I threw on here and set it to the bass. I think I boosted the bass just a little bit on here. Threw a little bit of overdrive just to get a little bit of distortion. It's still got that same compressor. This was just copied over from the same one that I built, right? It's just chain off the kick and saturating, bring it back up. And then, maybe these are working against each other here, but, we've got this saturator and then the compressor because we're just kind of trying to bring everything down. That'll just keep that threshold low so it reduces any clipping that's happening. You'll notice, I think I still am having a little bit of clipping. Yeah, you see this master track, there's still some of that going on. That is a problem for future Andy, not present Andy. Um, Anyways, yeah, you can see there's not a whole lot going on with this bass. It's literally just a grand piano. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I did change from a grand piano to this Arturia plugin. This one's called Stage 73, I think. Oh, I was trying to pull it up to show you, but it's just really simple. I just like selected a preset. You can hear it a little bit better on the chords if I solo that. Play that here. That's what that plugin sounds like. And by the way, I hardly have any effects. This compressor and saturator are the same ones from the template. I've thrown this compressor on after the fact just to kind of help reduce that clipping that was happening. And I would like to show you actually this parallel processing without going into too much depth because I could do a whole video on parallel processing. Basically what you do is you have a sample of the original and, an effect chain for the original, which we're just going to turn off. Right? That kind of serves as our source of truth, whatever you want to call it. And then we have our dry effect rack, and that one is going to be playing. What I've done here is I've tried to pan out the sounds of this chord to the sides of our mic, the sides of the space of the song, if you will. And the reason that I'm doing that is because the vocals are coming in at about the same frequency that those chords are coming in, right between like 100 and 200 hertz. And so instead of trying to adjust the frequencies so that they're not interfering with each other or bringing down the volume on one or the other, I'm just trying to pan out the sides, pan out the sounds of the chords to the sides of our song, so that the vocals can come through the middle, and and there won't be any interference that's happening. You may or may not be able to hear the difference. All I wanna do is roll and the man's got 100. In order to do that, I just basically took this EQ8, changed it from stereo to middle to side, and then kind of boosted the sides a little bit and took out all of everything that was in there. Let me play this again over here. Well, I guess here is fine. All I wanna do is roll and the man's got 100 grand in my budget for the night. All I wanna. If you listen carefully, you can kind of hear we're losing a little bit of vocals. We're losing less of it now. We're losing less of it with this song. All I wanna. Might be slight, but it's those little difference. It's those little changes that make a big difference. So. All I wanna. All I wanna. All I wanna. All I wanna. All I wanna do is roll and the man's got 100 grand in my budget for the night. All I wanna. All I wanna. All the night. For the night. Okay, so from here, there's a lot of different things I could do. I mean, we are getting kind of close to, this is like getting close to being finished. But there's definitely things that we can do for the transitions between these. We want to make them a little bit more seamless and build anticipation between transitions. We can do that by, doubling certain things up so they become faster as we get closer to the drop. Automating some of our effects and filters, automating which frequencies are coming through stronger. We can throw some LFOs onto the bass. There's a lot of different things. Find some ear candy. One thing that I definitely want to take out is lots of portions of the vocals. It sounds good, but it's boring because it's all pretty much the same thing. We want to be slightly more sparing with it, and we should have some other like high frequency, interesting ear candy that's coming in. Anyways, this might not work for everybody. It works for me. You should go ahead and try it. Maybe it helps you, maybe it doesn't. Either way, keep your eye out for part 3 where we throw in some more effects, ear candy, and make this sound like a polished professional cleaning track.